Hey, Cahlen Lee here, and today I'm in the Gila National Forest, which is in New Mexico. So you can see it's kind of a more wooded area, which is refreshing because I've been in kind of a lowland, rocky, short shrub type situation for quite a while now, and so it feels really good to get up into the forest. One of the things about coming up here is that it actually gets pretty cold, so you can see I'm all kind of like set up for staying warm. I got my gloves on, and luckily I've got a pretty good setup in the car where I'm able to keep the car warm pretty much all the time for pretty cheap using propane, like a little stove that I made, which I'll make another video about in the future. But today I kind of just want to give a little tour of the Gila National Forest, at least the area where I am. So let's first kind of take a look at the area where I'm camped. So here's the road I came in on. You can see way down there it's basically going into a forest. So most of the road up is on forest, and this clearing here is actually a unique situation. And there's the road going outwards. So a quick look at the truck situation. You can see I've got my vent up there, so the propane heater is kind of not making carbon monoxide. Got my hot drink there on the front of the car, keep my hands and my belly warm. And there are solar panels. I'm not getting much today because it's a little bit cloudy. You can see the sun rising behind that tree there. And back here we've got my electric bicycle, which is powered completely by solar, and the rest of this tour is going to be me kind of traveling around on that bike, showing you some things. Here's Jeremiah's camp. You can see he's getting ready for a ride too. So here, this is Jeremiah's bike. It's called Motoped Survival. It's basically a bicycle. You can see it's got pedals, but it's also got a one-stroke motor on there and enough gas probably to go, what?
80 miles?
Yeah, you can carry extra in that extra tank, red tank behind it.
Yeah, I don't think I need it.
Not yet. So down the road a little bit, there's this little installation kind of out in the middle of a little clearing, and you can see there's a windmill up there, but it's not actually running. So let's take a little bit closer look at this. So the road is back there, and you can see it's basically a fencing area for cattle. And there are definitely cattle out here. I've never seen them actually in a space like this, but they're kind of just roaming free. And you can see again the windmill, it's not actually running, but there's a couple of solar panels right there, right here, and they're running this well, and it goes along that black pipe and eventually basically just goes into this little green bin here. And the rest of this setup, this huge tank is totally empty. I assume this green tank is empty as well. So finding water tanks like this out in the middle of National Forest or BLM, basically property which belongs to the federal government, these things are all over the place, and they're basically here to feed or water cows. So again, cows are out here, and it's because there's ranches kind of set up in around these types of areas, and I believe they pay a fee to the federal government to allow their animals to graze there. So when you're getting grass-fed meat, that type of thing, it's probably kind of a situation like this, I'm assuming. So let's go check out the next spot. So there's the forest that I just came from. You can see my bike sitting right there, and I've stopped because we're kind of coming into the rocky area. As you can see, this is kind of like the entrance to a big cavern or ravine or something like that, where that rock back there is actually, there's a gap between them, and that's where I'm going to be going. Here you can see the stream has kind of frozen over. And actually I found it's no trouble for the bike because the bike is actually designed for this type of stuff. You can see the tires are actually very large, very wide, so they get a lot of traction. So here I am at kind of this spot in the road where I had this giant rock kind of overhanging over me ominously. I definitely wouldn't want to be here during an earthquake, but maybe you notice there's something else right here. So here's the markings. Pretty interesting. Got this little pyramid type character down here. He's got eyes apparently. I don't know, that's how I would see it. And then all these other symbols. I really have no idea what they mean. Oh, looks like Jeremiah's coming to share in the glory. I wasn't expecting that. Another surprise, actually right nearby where those markings were, you can see right here, there's a little hole in the wall. So actually I didn't even notice this when I came through the first time. Look how high that is up there. It's a very square opening. And it actually looks like someone lived in here. You know, it's got, it's roomy enough for one or two people. You can see it actually looks like someone might have been painting on those walls or some sort of deposit of some kind. And I found something else, and I bet I don't even need to point it out to you. Look how monstrous this is. It's got this giant rock that kind of overhangs the actual road, goes all the way up there. This huge cave. So definitely protection from the rain and enough space to put a little fire and a small space to keep warm. Doesn't actually go much further than this. So looking at a map, I'm actually not too surprised to find a couple little cave dwellings here, because there's actually, in the middle of the Gila National Forest, which I'm actually quite a ways away from, there's a little section where I believe there's like a village, like a large amount of these things. I think it's called like the Gila Cliff Dwellings or Cave Dwellings or something like that. Something that I'd like to check out at some point. So this is probably, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 miles away from there. So, and there's, as far as I can tell, there's not a whole lot of caves, or, I guess these are two caves by the road, so there could very well be caves that I just don't notice because I'm not going by them. But I do get the impression that it's a little more dispersed here, fewer people. And so it makes me wonder, I wonder how these people related to the people in the more congregated area. Like, were they friends, or were these people more like outcasts, that type of thing? So let's do some more exploring. Here's a little dried up stream. You can see it's got life, which recently was vibrant and seems to be on its way out now for the winter. We got a crazy man up there on that rock. So as you can see, the stream goes and falls down the canyon, and I actually found some more caves. So it makes sense that they'd set up here. Lots of places to cut into, or maybe the holes were already there. And also you have a water source for drinking, cooking, washing right next door. So there's one there on the left and another one here. Here's the main entrance. Kind of a little side room down there. Check out this big one. Lots of space in here. It's all kind of at an incline. I don't know if that's mold or lichen or paint or what. And then this rock here almost looks like it was glued there. Oh look, I didn't even notice that. More markings. And you can see this one, they actually started to try and enclose it in. So this wall was probably higher than it is now. Let's actually step down here. And this spot actually makes, it's basically, I think of it like a couch. Like you can sit up on that top ridge of that rock there. And here's the view looking out from this person's, I assume, living room. Now here's something interesting to look at. Basically the way that this rock was made, you can see it kind of comes in layers. And so that was probably why they chose to make caves here, because it was probably easier than like going through solid rock, because you really just have to pick into behind a layer of rock and kind of leverage it out. And I mean, it'd still take a long time, but easier than the other method. There's also a possibility that they used dynamite to do this, and then used the kind of layering to shape it into the right shape that they wanted it to be. Now, the reason I think dynamite, although I could be totally wrong about that, but these cliffs, they don't really have, I mean, they have natural overhangs and things like that, but they don't have natural holes, I don't think, because the shape of this, I mean, it looks like someone did that on purpose. And then also, there's all these large rocks strewn about, and actually, these are lined up on purpose as another kind of outer wall to their home. So it seems they were definitely thinking defensively. Now we're back at the truck, just for the afternoon, drinking some tea, smoking a pipe, enjoying ourselves before the next phase of our adventure. Smoking's bad for you, kids. Pretty sure we just found a mine, and we're just gonna pull off the side here and go check it out. Here's the, what'd you call it, the shale heel? We're going up! This is really steep! Whew! Hey! Oh shit! Damn! Whoa, that goes deep. Jeremiah's considering whether he wants to enter.
I think it's better light. It goes way back there. I can hear my voice echo.
Look at this. It's built right into the trunk of a tree. It's like Lord of the Rings, man.
I gotta get a better light off my bike.
Okay, we went a little ways in. You can see I'm actually in here. It's definitely nerve-wracking to be in a space like this. And it's shown my camera light down that way. And
it goes way back, yeah. And it's not like it's unstable nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
We don't have lights to see what's going on.
That's dirt.
Yeah, I know, but I'd be more worried about slipping and falling in a hole or something.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
We can't see anything.
So we're gonna, I don't know, come back here tomorrow
Yeah,
with flashlights.
Mag light.
We got a crazy man up there again. Check out this little waterfall. This would be a cool little place to hang out for a while. I wouldn't be able to get here with my truck, but I would be able to if I was on my bike or on foot or something like that. So this would be a cool little camp spot, kind of shielded on either side by rocks, and then I have access to this little pool here where I can get water, and I could wash and do all of those type of things. So we've swapped roles now. I'm up on the cliff and he's down there. So we're driving back to camp. Jeremiah spotted this little shack here.
More like a trail, but it might lead to a mine.
Jeremiah just spotted a trail which goes up kind of that way, so we're gonna go see if there's anything up there. So that hill didn't really go anywhere. I went up quite a ways and pretty steep for probably half a mile, and then kind of reached an apex where it just went back downhill again. It seemed like it is being used quite a bit, so like lots of horse and cattle hooves like in the mud, but there's also footprint from like people's boots, so there's something going on there. I just didn't want to spend all that time exploring. So now I'm back at the camp, and we kind of took a little break and, you know, get some time to ourselves, that type of thing, and now I'm going to head over to Jeremiah's because he's cooking up a mighty feast. I'm at Jeremiah's camp. Got a fire to keep us warm on this cold evening. There's Jeremiah slaving away, making some taters with some veggies, and we're gonna have a dance party.
Let's go.
Yo. Oh, look at that. Look at that. This is going to be amazing. Well, that's the end to a long and adventurous day, and you can see the sun's just setting behind me. And I mean, it's only like, what, 4:30 or something like that, but it's going to get dark pretty soon. And my camp is actually a little way from Jeremiah's, and so I wanted to get out of there before it started to actually get dark, because that's when mountain lions are going to be on the prowl, and there's definitely mountain lions around here. So not really excited about getting taken down from behind while riding a bicycle. So anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully in a future video, if we actually do check out that mine, then I'll be posting that as a separate video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.